AITA for sleeping with my sister's boyfriend, but it's not what it sounds like. My sister, 26F, is dating and soon to be engaged to my 25F ex-boyfriend, 26M. I know he's planning on proposing, or was, as I was helping him. When I was 16, I dated my sister's now boyfriend for about 6 months. It wasn't a super serious relationship, but we, as most teenagers do around that age, had sex. We did it a few times, but nothing obscene. The relationship ended amicably because we simply didn't want to date anymore. There were no harsh feelings, and we remained friends throughout high school and college. When my sister was around 23, she moved back to our hometown a year or so after college, and he was living here also. They began to spend time together, and she asked if it would bother me if they began to date. I had absolutely no problem with it, and told her there were absolutely no weird feelings, and I didn't even consider him a serious relationship as it was nearly 10 years ago. They've now been dating for the past 3 years, and he plans to propose, and has even asked for my help. Now for the actual conflict. About a week ago my sister, her boyfriend, and a few of our mutual friends went out to dinner. During one of the conversations, my sister made a joke about how he better propose soon because she was starting to feel like an old maid, her words. I asked her what she meant, and she said they were both saving themselves for marriage. I asked her if she meant in just this relationship or if she was saving herself, period. She said they had both been saving themselves their whole life. I gave her boyfriend a strange look from across the table, and she caught it. She asked why I looked at him weird, and I said it was nothing and tried to move past it. She insisted I tell her why because she thought I was judging them. I confessed that we had sex in high school, although it didn't really mean anything. She got mad at him first for lying, and somehow he managed to convince her that never happened, and then she got mad at me for making stuff up and, direct quote, trying to sabotage our future marriage because you're not over him. I told her I was, in fact, completely over him, and that I was also not lying, and then they both got up and left. My friends know I was telling the truth and have tried to contact her and back me up. She hasn't answered any of them and texted me the day after saying that I wouldn't be invited to the future wedding if I didn't admit to lying. I do feel really bad and wish I hadn't said anything or lied about why I looked at him, but I felt like I owed it to her because she's my sister and he was lying. Should I have handled it differently? Not have told her at all, etc.? AITA? Update. Okay, so I'm first going to start off with some context to clear up some confusion I was seeing. My sister and I grew up kind of religious with pretty old-fashioned parents. I didn't really buy into any of the religion stuff, but my sister did, not quite as much as my parents, but definitely more than me. They always told us to wait till marriage, but I clearly did not listen to them, and I guess it never occurred to me that my sister probably did. The reason she never knew about us sleeping together is because I didn't tell her, because I thought she might tell my parents and I didn't want to deal with them. The reason I didn't know she was waiting is because she has always been one to keep that kind of thing to herself and is very set on having her own privacy. When I say that we weren't in a serious relationship in high school, it's because I'm a firm believer that no high school relationship is that serious. We also both knew that we weren't planning on staying together forever. We only slept together 2, maybe 3 times, which in my mind isn't very serious, even for teenagers. When my sister asked me if I would be okay with them dating, she specifically asked if I would find it weird or uncomfortable, and I told her as long as she wasn't bothered by the fact that we used to be a couple, I had no reservations. She said that she didn't mind at all, which I mistakenly took as she knew we slept together and didn't care. I'd always known him to be pretty truthful, and I never took it to mean that he actually completely lied to her. At dinner, the 3 of us were sitting at one end of the table and having the argument very quietly, so my friends didn't know what was happening until they got up and left. Otherwise, they would have defended me there. After I confessed that we slept together, he said something along the lines of that never happened, and I don't know why she would lie. I insisted I wasn't lying, but I also wasn't trying to be hurtful. He said some BS about how maybe their talk of marriage made me jealous and stirred up old feelings. That's when she turned on me and they left. Now to the update. My sister came over this morning and we had a conversation and made amends. She told me that he had proposed a few days ago, but she hadn't told anyone because what I said was still weighing on her. She said that last night she went through his phone and found out that he has been cheating on her repeatedly for most of the relationship and that he slept with people before they were together. She confronted him this morning and they had a huge argument where he said that the reason he lied is because he knew it was important to her that they were both virgins and she wouldn't have stayed with him, if she found out that he wasn't one and he really does love her and want to marry her. She thankfully did not believe him and ended it. She came straight over to apologize and hear my side of the story. I asked her why she blindly believed him and left the restaurant and wouldn't answer me, and she said that she was embarrassed because waiting till marriage has always been a big deal to her, and she didn't want to believe that he wasn't as committed to her as she was to him. I, of course, accepted her apology, and we both decided to move past it and always trust each other. She has also decided that she's going to take some time to reconsider what values are the most important to her. All is now well. Our ex is totally TA, and please don't say anything rude about my sister. I love her a ton, and she just had a weak moment.